Hello, it's Leslie here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Duolingo and whether I recommend Duolingo, whether I like Duolingo, whether I use Duolingo. And the thing with Duolingo is that I do use it, yes, in the beginning of learning a language, and I haven't actually learned that many languages. So you see a lot of people on Duolingo with 10 or 15 or even 20 languages or more, and I just find it hard to believe that those people are I find it hard to believe that those people legitimately know 20 languages. So my main problem with Duolingo is that there's this kind of idea or conception that if you finish the tree, then you know that language. And I don't think that's the case at all. And a few years ago, people started asking me, well, how well do you think you know Russian after doing the Russian Duolingo tree? And I kind of said, well, I feel like I'm about 2% of the way there, well, maybe 5%, because there's the vocabulary is actually quite small, and it doesn't train your ear well enough to be able to watch Russian television after you've done that course. So I only do the courses once around. I don't do them 5 times around, because I find it a little bit too tedious and boring, and I'd rather do something else at that point. So I do use it as a tool, but I kind of think it should be more like bran in a well-balanced diet. I don't only go to Duolingo. And I think a lot of the Duolingo learners out there are more like people that are addicted to gaming apps that are interested in languages rather than language learners that are doing an app. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, for example, with the Russian course on Duolingo, there are almost 5 million people doing that course. 5 million people are doing Russian. And some of those might actually be living in Russia. And I suspect that's the case. And I suspect that a lot of those people, like 90% of them, aren't really serious about Russian. So if you go ahead and look at YouTube, for example, if you look at the biggest YouTube channel, Russian learning channel, is, I think it's, let me have a look, Daria's Real Russian Club, and that has 500,000 subscribers. So she's got 500,000 subscribers with Russian, although she speaks a lot of English on her channel. So then if you look at more Russian-only speakers, I'm going to pause this, I'll have a look. The second most popular channel, if you like, well, it's not the second most popular. The most popular one that who speaks Russian all the time is Russian with Max, and he now has 55,000 subscribers, which is 1% of the amount of language learners that are on Duolingo. And even some of those people might be native Russian because he speaks Russian all the time. So if you look at a more intermediate advanced YouTube channel, one of my favorites is Anna Scher's Russian from the Heart. She has 17,000 subscribers, which is something to be very proud of, but it's not like millions. So I wish I had 17,000 subscribers, but my point is that I think, I'll say another channel as well. The other advanced channel that I go to is Russian from Russia. She speaks in Russian only, and she has 15,000 subscribers. So I guess what I'm saying is that I can't take it seriously that there's 5 million Russian learners from outside Russia. I just don't think that's the case at all. I think it's more like I think it's more like 500,000 beginners and 50,000 intermediate and advanced in the world. Um, anyway, I have started learning Finnish on Duolingo, and it's quite a short course. I'm almost at the end already, uh, and I just don't feel at all ready to watch Finnish television. I know I'm not going to be able to watch Finnish television, uh, even if I do the course 5 times over. So the same thing with Finnish. During the first week that the Duolingo people brought out Finnish course, 40,000 people subscribed to start up on the Finnish course in the first few days. Now let's have a look at it. There are 578,000 Finnish learners on Duolingo. 578,000. But if you look at YouTube and you look at the most popular channels on YouTube, and the most popular channels I could find that are intermediate, I would say, are Finished and Easy Finnish. Finished, she has, what was it, 6,500 subscribers, and he on his channel Easy Finnish has 5,000 subscribers. So that's like 1% of the people on Duolingo. So what's happening? I think what's happening is that people just do the Finnish course and think, well, I've done Finnish, now I'll do another language, and they don't continue with it. And I think it should be used more like a springboard as a base, as to continue with it more, do more vocabulary work and more listening comprehension. So again, I found a couple of YouTube channels in Finnish. A couple of others are Aura's Finnish lessons. She has again about 5,000 subscribers, and Finnish with Anna is one of the most popular ones, 17,200. So there's a lot of people that are just doing Duolingo, and I think they do it on, I think a lot of people do it just to pass the time and to try and get something constructive out of it. But I can't say that I just don't think people on Duolingo are committed to each of their languages. And the other language that I've done on Duolingo is Italian, and there are apparently 6.72 million Italian learners now on Duolingo. Now, if you look at the most popular Italian channel, it's probably Learn Italian with Lucrezia. She has 500,000 subscribers, which is amazing, but that's still only like less than 10% of what the Duolingo system is. So it tells me that I don't know. I just can't see, like, if you're serious about Italian, you would be subscribed. You would definitely be subscribed to Lucrezia. There's just no way that I wouldn't be subscribed to it. So what I think is that 90% of the people on Duolingo are more like gamers than linguists or language learners, and that's how I feel about it. I just don't think it's a very small pie piece in the whole spectrum of learning, like the material sources, I think. So I don't rely on it. I might do it for a month because it's free, or it can be free. I'm actually trialing it again for a couple of weeks, but I'll probably cancel my Duolingo subscription because I'll probably be finished it by that time. So I'm just using them to get no ads for 2 weeks. I think It does help. It's better than nothing. But I think you've got a long way to go, even after reaching the end of the course, even if you do it a few times. I think you've got a long way to go to be able to speak and comprehend people. So I do use it in the beginning because it is kind of, well, I say the word fun. It's interactive. So it's good because because it's sort of what's the term that I'm looking? It hooks you. It sucks you in. It's got this sort of little. It's like other apps. They have this what's called dopamine loop, and you get a little dopamine hit every time you get something right, and you see a little animation or something happens. It's interactive, so it's good in that sense. But I think it's not enough on its own, and listening to one sentence, even if it's a fairly long sentence, is not enough preparation to listen to a half an hour series in that same language without stopping. It just doesn't even come close to that. So, yeah, I think it's only like about to me it only feels like about if I've done one of those trees, it only feels like 5 or 10% of the way there. That's how I feel, and it's still got a lot of hours and hours of listening comprehension to continue with before I think I'm intermediate or whatever. So I guess what I'm saying is I use it, but as a part of like a toolbox. So I don't rely on just Duolingo. And like I said, I think it's very boring. And after a while, I would want to move on to podcasts or something else after that, rather than do the same course over and over again. My mum is doing the French course, and she's one of those people that will do the same thing over and over and over again. And I said to her, Mum, you got to start listening to French, television or progress from there. And she did for a little while, but stopped. So, the other thing is, I mean, one of the other languages I'm curious about, I'm not ready to start studying it, but one of the languages I'm getting a little bit curious about is Farsi or Persian. They don't have Farsi or Persian on there. And one of the things that stops me learning Farsi or Persian is because, even just a couple of words, is because the Google app doesn't have, if you type a word into the Google app and get Farsi out, it doesn't tell you, it doesn't give you the pronunciation. You don't get the little voice saying the word. And I like to use, I use Google app Translate app a lot to test my pronunciation. And so that's a bit frustrating. Yeah. Anyway, but if I had to choose between the Google Translate app and Duolingo, I would choose the Google Translate app. I might be wrong. I'm not one of those people that likes playing games. I don't have a single game installed on this computer. I used to play games when I was a teenager, before they became all 3D. But I'm just not into games that much, and like crosswords and things, I just don't ever do them. So the other thing I'll quickly say about Duolingo is that it gives you a little tiny window into the culture, but nothing like watching television or listening to radio or something like that. I'm not particularly impressed with the vocabulary because they're always on about rice, no matter what the country is. Eating a bowl of rice. Well, I'm not going to eat a bowl of rice if I'm going to Italy. And if I'm going to Finland, the same thing. I'm not going to eat a bowl of rice. And I don't really I want to know about owls and squirrels. I want to know more vocabulary like table and chair and, things like that. Things that I can see, more core vocabulary, because some of the vocabulary, like I've noticed, they'll use the word like in the Finnish course, admire. I'm admiring this. But no one actually says the word admire. I'm admiring this. No one does it. It's usually they'll say I'm looking at that, or I'm seeing that, or I'm watching that. So the vocabulary to me, it's it's not the core. I want to know the most common words. I don't want to know the word admire until I'm a little bit later on, because I feel that I'll forget that. Or it might be the word wizard. How often are you going to say the word wizard in a sentence? You'd be better off learning the word for thief or something like that. So uh, that's the problem I have with Duolingo. But then you reach the end of the tree and you don't keep getting more and more vocabulary every time you do it. Well, at least I don't think that happens. It just gives you the same vocabulary again and again, and it might be only, I don't know, it might be only 500 words or something, or it just doesn't. It's not 5,000 words, and I think you need at least 2,000 words before you you can get anywhere. Anyway, that's all I have time for today, so I'll leave it there. I've been having problems with my computer lately. It's been crashing on me, so hopefully this works. I almost had to go back to my old webcam. I don't want to do that. So I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching. I'll update you next week with my progress. Thank you. Bye.